Hey, what's going on, everybody? This your boy AG the Assassin, coming to you live and direct, repping that flawless victory, gaming, and entertainment. Please believe it. Please believe it. I am back. Told y'all we're gonna start doing weekly updates on Raw, Smackdown, and NXT, and I'm here with my weekly reviews. I didn't mean to say updates. I meant to say reviews. Uh, this will get a little bit better as the weeks go by. I'm just doing the first couple of weeks by myself, trying to get my little camera situation straight. But once I do fix up my camera, I will be having two other guys with me, my homeboy Ancient and another young gentleman who we will introduce when he becomes available. So, in the meantime, you got your boy AG, Mr. I Love WWE himself. I love WWE ever since I was a little boy, man. I love going to the events, love the shows. You know, I understand. Okay, all of it might not be real, but hey, it's entertainment, people. Get over yourself. Anyway, so we're gonna start with this week's Raw. Raw 522. Raw started off with Bray Wyatt, Roman Reigns promo. Bray opened up the show. Says he'll save the world. Save everybody from the beast, which he's talking about Brock Lesnar. Talk about how he laid out Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe last week. Talked about how all the fans believe that Finn Balor will be the one to win the Fatal 5-Way match at Extreme Rules. And also started talking about Roman Reigns and how Roman Reigns is always talking about how he's the big dog and this is his yard. And he had probably one of the hardest quotes probably of the night, to be honest with you. He said, "What does one silly little yard mean to a man that owns the whole world?" And I thought that was right. It was a strong quote. So right after he says that, Roman Reigns comes right out. Says, okay, if you want to talk trash to me, Bray Wyatt, talk trash to my face. Says that he'll beat all four of the guys to face Brock Lesnar because he's the only one that could beat Brock Lesnar. But at that point in time, he was like, look, I'm sick of talking. I'm just trying to figure out how I can get you out my yard. So at that point in time, your boy Kurt Angle comes out, my dog. Kurt Angle says they're probably the two odds-on favorites to win the match, but he wants to see who's going to win between the both of them. So right then and there, he makes a impromptu match, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. All right, as that match starts, like I said, I'm just going to highlight a couple of key moments for me. Roman Reigns blocks early Sister Abigail attempt. Bray Wyatt plants Roman Reigns with a Uranagi. Roman Reigns explodes out the corner with a clothesline, hitting him real hard with the clothesline, I might add. Roman hits his little multiple corner clotheslines. Bray hits Roman with the little flying cross block thing that he does. After that particular move, you see Samoa Joe come out. Samoa Joe, is hinting that he's about to go attack Bray Wyatt, but ends up putting the coquina clutch on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns kind of kicks out of it, but then him and Bray start kind of beating Roman Reigns down. That's when you hear Seth Rollins come out. Seth Rollins basically hits Joe with a one-legged dry kick and knocks him out the ring. And then Roman Reigns hits Bray Wyatt with a Superman punch and knocks him out the ring. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns still standing strong in the ring as they go to commercial. They come back for commercial. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins backstage. Roman tells Seth Rollins, hey, look, I didn't need you to come help me. Seth Rollins said, hey, I wasn't coming to help you. I was coming after Joe. Right then, Kurt comes back in. Says he's going to put them in a tag team match. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe. So they make that match. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins walk away. And probably still one of the funniest things right now is Elias Sampson. How he just drifts past everybody's promo and everything. So Elias Sampson walks in the picture and just stares at Kurt Angle. So Kurt Angle said, "Hey, you've been trying to get my attention for weeks now. Now you got it. I'm gonna put you in your first match, but it's gonna be against the lunatic fringe Dean Ambrose." So they set that up for later on. Next match, you got Akira Tozawa versus versus Daivari. But the Brian Kendrick is actually backstage watching, giving his opinion. Basically says that he's still talking about the whole teacher-student thing, how he's the teacher, Tozawa's the student. The match starts. Tozawa gets a couple of big chops in. Soccer kick into a senton, which is a good combo for him. Daivari ends up clotheslining him inside out. They cut scene to Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick's like, I'm not impressed, blah, blah, blah. Top rope senton by Tozawa. Basically hits that for the win. Brian Kendrick said he'll destroy him in their little street fight tomorrow on 205 Live. We don't watch 205 here, so let's get that right. Sasha Banks promo comes up after the commercial. Says she's looking forward to the rubber match with Alicia Fox. Fox and Dar come into the picture. Says that Sasha Banks is jealous because basically Sasha Banks doesn't have a man. And basically Sasha Banks just like punks them both real quick and then walks away laughing at them. It was funny to me. Your next match 3, is Dean Ambrose versus Elias Sampson. Now, what I did love about this, before I get too deep into it, it was a really good match, a really strong match for Elias Sampson. Even though he technically won by disqualification, it was still a good showing by Sampson. It made him look really strong, and it really didn't take away too much from Dean Ambrose. So basically, starts off with Elias Sampson singing in the middle of the ring. Ambrose interrupts him as he makes his entrance. Corey Graves, who's probably like makes this whole Elias Sampson thing funny, basically says, "I need a mute button for his music." The Miz and Maurice on commentary. Miz talking about rules are meant for people like Dean Ambrose. Corey Graves go back into talking about Elias Sampson singing. Talking about, his singing sounds like Johnny Cash's Death Rattle. Now, I don't get that. There's probably some deeper meaning behind that. Key spots, Sampson hits Dean. He hits his face on the ropes. I can't remember exactly how it happened, but like he kind of got like in between the middle and the top rope, and Sampson kind of yanked him, and his face just smacked against the top rope. It looked crazy. Dean Ambrose is dangling off the apron, like on the outside part, and Elias Sampson comes in with a strong ass knee. Kind of really rattles him a little bit. Sampson, like I said, Sampson dominated most of this match. Then Dean Ambrose started going off. Dean, he kind of got him all a little bit rattled. Dean got to the top rope and was going for his, double axe handle. But like Sampson out of nowhere hit him with this flying knee, which was probably the most savage move of the night. It was an awesome counter to the double axe handle. They fight back and forth. Dean hits him with the lunatic lariat. As he hits that lunatic lariat, the Miz comes down to the ring, gets in the ring like he's about to attack Dean Ambrose, but then hits Elias Sampson. Henceforth, Elias Sampson wins by DQ. Dean chases after the Miz. They're circling around the ring. The Miz comes back into the ring, and Dean tries to put him in, hook in for dirty deeds, but Elias Sampson attacks him from behind, hits him with like a crossroads type maneuver, and the Miz is just at the top of the ramp, just clapping because I guess he likes that. Of course he does. He's the Miz. They do a cut scene. Big Cass and a referee are, walking real fast backstage, and they're actually going to Enzo Amore, who's knocked out on the floor. They cut. They cut to a commercial. Enzo's up when they come back, and he said he doesn't know who jumped him. It was real fast. Blah blah blah. Kurt tells Enzo he'll figure out who it is. Cass tells Kurt he better find out who it is before Cass does. Then we got match 4, which was probably the more interesting. Not even so much because of the match, but just the moment of the night. You had Finn Balor versus Carl Anderson. Finn Balor comes out to talk about how he's going to win the 5-way match at Extreme Rules. And then as he's in the middle of talking, your boy Paul Heyman comes out. Paul Heyman talks. He goes on to cut his own little promo. He calls everybody, all the other opponents, basically victims that Brock Lesnar could easily run through. And then goes on to compliment Finn Balor, saying, hey, look, Finn, I see you coming from a mile away. You're no victim. You're probably the guy that we want to face the most. And then Finn, he was like, look, since you're here, get this message to your boy Brock. I'm going to win this match. I'm going to fight him, and I'm going to win back my title that I never lost. Then you cue Anderson and Gallows. Gallows got involved early in the match to help Anderson. Anderson hits Finn with a overhand right that kind of stunned him. Then he turns around and hits him with that overhead kick, which is technically a Pele kick, whatever. Let's see, a high kick. Carl Anderson's on the top rope. Finn Balor hits him with the little jumping high kick. Knocks him off the top rope. Finn Balor then proceeds to take out Luke Gallows with the little suicide basement drop kick thing that they do through the ropes. He gets back in the ring. Anderson hits him with a spine buster. Let's see. Finn hits him with some type of top rope move. Basically getting him off the top rope. Hits him with a sling blade, quarter drop kick, coup de grace, 1, 2, 3, boom. That's it. Finn Balor wins. Match 5. Match 5 is Sasha Banks versus Alicia Fox. Sasha Banks went for the bank statement early. Fox got out. Dara distracted Sasha Banks, allowing Alicia Fox to come in and kick Sasha Banks in the face, like real hard. They tussle for a little bit, but eventually Sasha Banks gets Alicia Fox trapped up in the corner, does her little double knee thing, and basically pins her 1, 2, 3. Quick match. Dara comes in there talking crap. Sasha Banks smacks him. Then Alicia Fox attacks Sasha Banks and scissor kicks her and leaves her in the middle of the road. Backstage, you got Kalisto and Apollo Crews. Basically, Kalisto was wondering why he's with the Titus brand. Crews saying that the Titus brand's helping him out, helping him get ahead in his career, blah, blah, blah. Titus O'Neil comes over there, says, hey, Kalisto, I know what you're doing. You're trying to be the first international star on Titus Brand International. Kalisto turns him down, says he never wants to be a part of that. And basically, he took offense to that. So Titus tells Crews, hey, look, go in the ring and teach him a lesson So they set up a match. They cut to commercial. Comes back with an Alexa Bliss promo. They showed the footage of last week where Alexa Bliss basically took the kendo stick, smacked the mess out of Bayley, and now they know that they're going to have a kendo stick on the pole match at Extreme Rules for the title. Bliss says she loved every minute of it. Says she's going to tattoo Bayley's body with the kendo stick, and says that Bayley is not capable of being extreme, and says she won't win at Extreme Rules. Match 6 is Kalisto versus Cruz. Kalisto starts off with like this little back flip into a head scissors. Cruz hits him with a drop kick. Cruz hits him with a jumping enziguri. Cruz goes for his move, but somehow Kalisto counters into the Salito del Sol for the win. Afterwards, Titus O'Neil just gets in the ring, starts yelling at Apollo Crews about listening to him, blah, blah, blah. Commercial, comeback, match 7 is Matt Hardy versus Sheamus. The winner gets to pick the stipulations for their tag title match at Extreme Rules. At the beginning, you hear all the broken universe chants from the Deletes to Brother Nero's to Broken Matt Hardy, Broken Matt, and all that stuff. You hear all that chants in the crowd. So, look, if you want to see this gimmick, I encourage everybody to keep doing it. Wherever they're at, wherever they have a live event or whatever, just keep doing it. WWE is going to cave in eventually, so we can have the Broken Hardys in WWE. But I digress. For the early parts of the match, Matt Hardy kept Sheamus grounded a little bit. Matt Hardy clotheslined Sheamus out the ring. Matt comes outside to get him. Sheamus rams him into the apron. Sheamus does that 10 beats of the Balor thing that he does when he's beating on dude's chest. Sheamus hits a top rope clothesline. Also hits a rolling senton and hits Matt Hardy with white noise. Matt Hardy kicks out all of that. Matt Hardy hits him with a side effect. Let's see. Sheamus hit him with some type of knee strike. Matt Hardy actually ducks a bro kick, but gets thrown outside. Cesaro is attempting to come after him, but then Jeff Hardy dives off the apron onto Cesaro. While Sheamus is being distracted, Matt Hardy gets back in the ring, hits Sheamus with a twist of fate. 1, 2, 3, Matt Hardy wins. And we find out right after the match that the Hardys choose a steel cage match. I get why they didn't do it, because we technically just had a ladder match at NXT TakeOver Chicago, but I still would have liked to see a TLC match. I think that would have been alright. But I'll stick with the ladder. You can still do a lot of things in a cage match. Alright. Match number 8 puts Tony Nese up against Austin Aries. I think they also, at Extreme Rules, is going to be Austin Aries, Neville, part 3, and this time it's going to be a submission match, which should be really good because they both have really good submissions. But a couple high spots. Aries hits Nese with that diving elbow to the back off the top rope. Aries hits a slingshot crossbody onto Nese. Nese basically takes a lot of shots at his bad knee. I think he was trying to come off of the rope for something, and Nese caught Aries with like this mid-air elbow that like knocked him out for a good while. Nese tries to pick him up. Aries locks in a guillotine. Nese basically tries to push him off, but he holds onto his head and like drags him down and flips over into the last chancery. Once he locks in the last chancery, he taps out. Uh, he basically goes to the top of ramp, Austin Aries, and then Neville comes in and locks in the Rings of Saturn on to Tony Nese. Basically, both of them showing off of their two submission moves. Next match, you got Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss. A lot of reversals in the beginning, but James hits Alexa Bliss with a neck breaker combo. And then James also locks in the crossface on Alexa Bliss, but she gets out. James tries to come at her, and then she just hits her with one nasty elbow, and then hits her with a DDT. 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss goes out to get the kendo stick. Smacks Mickie James in the back with the kendo stick. Bayley comes out to try to save her. She pulls her out and gets a hold of the kendo stick. But, Alexa Bliss is ran. Which brings us to our main event of Monday Night Raw. It is Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe versus Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. I'm just going to run down all of my spots and then give you my what I liked about it. Basically, Seth Rollins setting Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt outside. Seth misses Joe. Misses Joe's attack, but gets kicked. Gets knocked on the floor by Bray Wyatt while he's on the apron. Seth breaks away and tags in Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns hits a Samoa drop, but Bray splashes Roman in the corner. Joe runs Roman into the barricade. Joe hits his little running hip attack, followed by that jumping enziguri that he does in the corner. Roman hits Joe with a drive-by. Seth hits a springboard clothesline and blockbuster on Joe. And then turns around and does a slingshot crossbody on Bray Wyatt on the outside. Comes in, hits a sling blade on Joe. Throws him back outside and hits a suicide dive on both Joe and Bray. And comes in and does a double crossbody on Joe and Bray as well. Roman goes for a Superman punch, but Joe steps out the way and he kind of runs into Seth Rollins. Him and Seth Rollins go into it a little bit, but what's the name? Bray Wyatt comes in and basically pushes Roman Reigns out the ring. And then goes out and plants him with Sister Abigail. And while he's planting Roman Reigns with Sister Abigail on the outside, Joe locks in the coquina clutch on the inside. Basically, Seth Rollins passed out. He never really tapped out, but he passed out. But your winners, Bray and Joe. Backstage, Finn Balor and Kurt Angle are watching on the TV. Finn Balor tells Kurt Angle, "Hey, look, don't keep me out the action next week." So he said, "Okay, you want action? I'll give you action. You are going to be in a triple threat match against Joe and Bray Wyatt, and then Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are going to have a one-on-one match." So that's something to look forward to next week. Okay. All right. Now we're going on to Smackdown. Of course, as you know, Jinder Mahal did win the WWE title at Backlash, although be it through questionable circumstances. Nonetheless, he is the champ. Basically, SmackDown opens up with the motorcade bringing escorting Jinder Mahal in. The Singh brothers lay the carpet out in front of his limo, and he gets out, just breathes it in, looks at the title, and just grins like, "Yeah, I did this." The fireworks go off and all that stuff. Shane McMahon comes out. talked about Backlash and says that Randy Orton will get his rematch at Money in the Bank. Uh, and also introduces the participants for the Money in the Bank ladder match. AJ Styles comes out, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Dolph Ziggler, and Shinsuke Nakamura. But Kevin Owens comes in and breaks it up. Basically says that he understands why some people are in there, but the people that lost at Backlash shouldn't be in there. Hitting at AJ Styles. Shane said he made a valid point and puts him in as the sixth member of the match. A lot of back and forth going on between the competitors. I just put out some funny stuff that I thought was funny. AJ Styles talking to Baron Corbin basically said, yeah, so before you huff and puff and you continue to blow. Like, I thought that was pretty funny. Calls Kevin Owens SmackDown Live's version of Cartman. What's the name? Baron Corbin calls Sammy the Rudy of SmackDown. And then Shinsuke takes the mic and basically says that, okay, my name is Shinsuke Nakamura, soon to be Mr. Money in the Bank. Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn continue to go at it. So Shane makes the match between Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, and then makes a tag team match of Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. All right. So we see match one. It is Natalya. Natalya and Carmella versus Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Carmella and Lynch start the match. Lynch gives Carmella basically like playing with her, giving her noogies and stuff. Carmella hits Lynch with a shoulder takedown and mocks Lynch. Lynch drop kicks Carmella. Natalya comes in. Flair drop kicks her, and they go to commercial. Carmelo hits a big boot in the corner with that Bronco Buster combo that she likes. Natalya and Carmella keep Lynch cut off from Charlotte for most of the match. But eventually she does get to tag her in. A whole bunch of chops, and then she hits that neck breaker big boot combo that she loves to do. Natalya basically German suplexes her. Lynch hits her with a missile drop kick from the top rope or the middle rope, whatever. And then Lynch basically locks in the disarmer on Carmella, and they win. Lynch and Flair win. Next match, Baron Corbin versus Sami Zayn. Corbin basically flings him across the ring. And then as he's coming for, as he running toward the corner to splash him, he sidesteps him. Sami Zayn sidesteps him and rolls him up with a schoolboy and basically wins the match. So it was maybe a minute and some change, and Sami Zayn won the match. So after that, of course, Baron Corbin's peeved. So he attacks him, and he viciously beat him down to the point to where he had to be stretchered out. He hit him real hard, a lot. Cut to a promo on AJ Styles and Shinsuke in the back. Shinsuke's getting ready. AJ Styles comes in, welcomes on the Smackdown Live, talks about their history in Japan. But says, hey, look, this is SmackDown Live. This is my house. Follow my lead and everything will be all right. Sensei said tonight they're partners, but at Money in the Bank, he's going to grab that contract and turn AJ's house into his playground. Whatever that means. He cut to the the whole fashion police thing, and basically they set the whole fashion police thing up in Shane's office. Shane's like, "What's all this stuff doing here?" They're basically depressed that they didn't pick up the win against the Usos at Backlash, and they're basically like turning in their fake badges to Shane because he's the commissioner. I thought it was real funny. Shane tells them, look, they belong here. He put them in 2 singles matches against the Usos, and they're all happy. They take their badges back and go back to work. Jinder Mahal has his Punjabi celebration, uh, which is pretty cool. It was a pretty decent, man. I mean, you gotta expand your mind sometimes and enjoy the culture. So it was good for what it was. But then they let Jinder Mahal come out. He basically says he's doing this for everybody in India who's celebrating his win. Says that no one believed that he could do it. Says Randy Orton is on the decline and he is on the rise. Starts speaking to his people in Punjabi, and then a whole bunch of fireworks go off. That's about it. Goes to commercial, comes back. You got Jay Uso versus Tyler Breeze. Jay says he doesn't deserve to be in the ring with him. Fandango basically distracts Jay by spraying him with the little spray bottles, the little water gun. And Breeze basically rolls him up with a schoolboy for the win. They do the next match, Jimmy Uso versus Fandango. Jimmy basically hits him with a hard shot from the gate. Jay chases Tyler Breeze around the ring, which distracts Jimmy Uso and allows Fandango to win with the schoolboy. So they just beat the tag champs in 2 singles matches. So they basically say, hey, look, why don't you put your titles on the line? So the Usos are so mad that they just lost those 2 matches that they give in and give them the title match. And Shane McMahon approves it. They put it on. So you got the next match is Breezango versus the Usos for the tag titles. Usos start off real strong, cutting off Tyler Breeze from Fandango. They use a couple of their tag team moves on Tyler Breeze. Eventually, Tyler Breeze does get to Fandango. Fandango hits a spinning heel kick, aided tornado DDT. Jimmy throws Fandango into the post. Double super kick for Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Jay goes for the splash, but Fandango counters it with the knees to the gut into an inside cradle for a 2 count. Jimmy goes for a superplex on Fandango. As he's doing that, Jay tags in. Fandango kind of headbutts him off, and then Fandango hits him with a leg drop. But what he doesn't see is Jay going to the opposite corner. And as soon as he hit the leg drop, Jay's coming off with the splash on Fandango. 1, 2, 3. Your boys Usos retain the titles. That's my boys. Backstage promo in Shane's office. All the women basically coming in there saying that they deserve the next title shot at Naomi's SmackDown Live Women's Championship. He basically puts them in a 5-way elimination match next week to determine the number 1 contender for the title at Money in the Bank. Last match of the night, like I said, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens versus Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles. Dolph and AJ start off. Good little headlock exchange. AJ with a big drop kick. They both tag their partners in. Shinsuke catches KO with some striking combos. Basically does the little head thing on his gut and then taunts him to come on. Hits KO with a knee strike and a knee attack on the ground. Gets Kevin in the corner, hits Kevin with good vibrations. And then after that, KO takes over. Tags in Dolph. Dolph hits like the little Ravisher Rick Rude neck breaker. Dolph hits, locks in a rear naked choke, but releases it. Kevin Owens hits a snapmare with a soccer kick. Kevin Owens runs and clotheslines him, and then immediately runs back and hits him with a cannonball, and then hits him with a senton. Dolph runs at Shinsuke, but he misses and runs into the post. Shinsuke tags in AJ Styles. AJ Styles hits this little like falling forearm that he does, and then hits him with the fireman carry neck breaker thing move that he does for a 2 count. AJ is thrown out of the ring. KO hits another senton on AJ outside. Throws him back in the ring. Somehow AJ hits that little face plant move that he does. He tags in Shinsuke. Shinsuke hits him with a couple of body kicks. KO try to really attack him, but he hits him with that little whip kick thing that he does. Dolph tries to come in. Excuse me. No, he comes in and hits KO with a Pele kick. He tries to hit Styles Clash, but then Dolph comes in and super kicks him. Shinsuke comes back in and kind of kicks him out the ring. And Kevin does something, but Shinsuke counters it with a couple of elbow strikes. And then once he got him down, he went to the corner, hit Kevin Owens with the Kinshasa for the win. And that's how SmackDown ended. And finally, last but not least, my favorite program, NXT. Only like 3 matches. But you start off with Aleister Black versus Kurt Hawkins, which they did have a previous match. Well, I want to say it was main event, which Aleister Black dominated. But they basically come in, starts off Aleister Black. Kurt Hawkins is chasing after Aleister Black. Aleister Black does that little moonsault and goes right into his Indian style sitting stance. Kurt Hawkins tries to kick him, but he basically grabs his foot, gets up, and then hits him with like a leg kick, throws him to the ropes, and then hits him with the nastiest kitchen sink I've seen in a while. Let's see. I think at this point, he tried to get him up for a black mass, but he blocked it. And then when Black tried to go out to the outside of the ring to go after him, Hawkins basically slammed him on the apron. He tried to suplex him inside the ring. Aleister Black kneed him and blocked that. Kind of tied him up in the rope a little bit and caught him with a nasty body like chest kick. Comes in, hits him with what I call a bicycle knee, kind of like a bro kick but with your knee. Let's see. Black hits him with multiple body kicks. And then does a little springboard moonsault to just land on top of him. Once he does that, he waits for him to get back up, hits him with the black mass spinning heel kick thing, knocks him out for the 3 count. They do a promo of the tag team title ladder match from TakeOver Chicago. Awesome match, all through and through. Eventually, AOP did win the titles. Retain the titles. And then after the match, it showed how Tommaso Ciampa basically messed up Johnny Gargano and left him laying, had to be stretchered out and everything. They do a promo with Ember Moon. Ember Moon basically stated that, look, I want Asuka to keep the belt so I can take the belt from her. But if she doesn't, whoever has the belt, I'm coming for it. Boo, boo, boo. They recapped the women's title match, which Asuka did retain the title against Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott. Then they also recapped Roderick Strong versus Eric Young, which my boy Roddy Strong did come out victorious. Your second match is the new debut of the Velveteen Dream. I have so many words for this guy, but I will say this much: the match, he looked very impressive in the match. So basically, he hits him with this big shoulder block. Runs to the rope. The guy basically, puts his body down, trying to get him with a back body drop. But the Velveteen Dream basically leaps over him, like hurdles him, and then comes back and hits him with a one-legged drop kick. Jobber hits Velveteen Dream with the elbow, but then the Velveteen Dream comes back with a Fez press, starts beating him up. Velveteen Dream hits this springboard double axe handle, and then also hits him with a sitting neck breaker as well. And then I was talking with H about this, but I swear the boy hit probably one of the best elbow drops I've ever seen since the late Macho Man Randy Savage. Like, I've honestly never, and I've seen so many people try. Some weren't good, some were okay, some were pretty decent. But this guy probably had one of the best elbow drops I've seen in a long time. And as long as he's wrestling like that, you're going to see some big things from the Velveteen Dream. Flamboyant old man. They do a recap of the UK title match, and they also do a recap of the NXT title match. Which brings us to our last match of the night, which was Drew McIntyre versus I forgot the guy's first name, last name Blake. I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Blake. He used to be tag team champs, Blake and Murphy, with Alexa Bliss when she was in NXT. All right, so a lot of headlocks and stuff in the beginning. Drew hits him with a strong shoulder tackle. Blake has a couple of hits him with a couple of corner chops. He starts talking mess to him, and Drew hits him with a big boot. Drew hits him with a couple of corner chops of his own. Blake hits Drew with this European uppercut clothesline combo that he did. It was really sweet. But then Drew goes right back at him and hits him with a belly to belly. Let's see. Blake takes his arm and basically yanks it on the top rope, getting it caught up. Blake hits a big clothesline. Blake locks in a Kimura because he's been doing a lot of damage to the arm. This is one scene where Blake is on the top rope, sitting on the top rope, and Drew McIntyre comes after him, but he catches him with this flying arm bar that I haven't seen in a long time. It was really sweet how he did it. So shout outs to Blake for that. I think his name's Wesley Blake. I think that's his name, Wesley Blake. Okay. But hits him with the flying arm bar off the top rope. Drew counters one of his his next moves with a big boot. Hits him with a single arm axe handle. And then Drew hits him with kind of like a sky high spine buster type move. Blake throws Drew into the post again. Then he tries to lock in the crossface, which Drew gets to the bottom rope. Drew hits a reverse Alabama slam on Blake. Blake catches him off of the top rope, and it's like a double knee arm breaker, kind of like a code breaker, but for your arm. Drew failed at the superplex, but Blake took too long on top rope, so he kind of got back up and grabbed him by the head and flung him over his head. And Drew hits him with a headbutt. He goes into the corner and hits him with what they're calling a single leg Kuza. It's kind of like a little running knee thing from Daniel Bryan. That's basically what it is. But Drew McIntyre hits that for the 1-2-3 victory. And pretty much that's a basics review of everything that I read, that I watched, excuse me. Like I said, it will be better than this. I'm just doing it by myself for the first like 2 or 3 times until I get my camera straight. Once I get my camera straight, then it'll be like, say, at least 2 other people around the table with me talking about it, and we're gonna really actually go in depth about it. And shoot, this took me almost an hour just to run through all of that I have. So you can imagine the witty banter that we're gonna have going back and forth about WWE. It's gonna be real cool. But I am going to end this video. Like I said, we're a brand new channel. We're trying to start off good. We're trying to get some things working. Getting capture cards so we can bring you better quality video. I know this is really ain't that good, but I'm doing what I can with what I got. And we're trying to get our logo straight so we can have that trademarked and everything. So, you know, by the time we can get it to our video guy, and then he can go ahead and put that on all of our videos. But like I said, man, we're a growing channel. We need your support. We just need you to give us a big thumbs up if you like this video. If you're a fan of the channel, please give us a subscription. Like I said, once we hit 500 subscriptions, I will be doing a lot of giveaways, whether it be Xbox cards, PlayStation cards, Netflix cards, WWE Network cards, whatever the case may be. I'm going to start doing a lot of giveaways, man, because if y'all support me, I'm going to support y'all and do nice things for y'all, do all this, man. But first, I need to get that at 500, man. Please help me get to that 500. Thumbs up. Give me a subscription. I need all of that. Your comments, too. Give me all your comments, man. Because I want to build this thing. I want to build this thing into something special, man. I promise. The more that you tune in, the better we're going to get. And it's going to be phenomenal, man. It's going to be glorious. Well, like I said, this is your boy AG the Assassin checking in on behalf of Ancient and Dobie the God. Thank you for looking. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the channel. Enjoy the videos. Thank you. Peace.